All right, let's go. It's time to get
I'ma get medieval on your ass.
not at the theme park, but at the Reals place, where the medieval times there was no Coca-Cola and pizza. At this particular medieval times. Hello, my name is Malcolm. Welcome to Mal on the Movies. I'm here to talk about Ridley Scott's new film, The Last Duel. It's an incredibly beautiful film, dark and very tunneled in its vision. This is the Reals medieval times, where people get killed by very sharp objects, swords most like, and die of diseases and have no health care, and life basically is a pile of shit, especially for our protagonist, Jodie Comer. She plays Marguerite de Carouge, I think that's what it is. The wife of Matt Damon's Jean de Carouge. He's really good, actually. You know, the internet is a bit nuts when it comes to Matt and Ben. Matt in particular, they seem to have a hate-on for Matt Damon. The Last Duel in France, which was about the honor of a woman. This film, The Last Duel, stars Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Jodie Comer, the stellar Adam Driver, who is fantastic in the sort of libertine role of another variation of the Don Juan type character. The womanizer who is very charismatic, a multilingualist, proficient in Latin, espouses poetry at the court, etc. A very charismatic and captivating individual, as of course Adam Driver is IRL. Now, it can't be overstated how fantastic Jodie Comer is. She is so captivating. She's able to play a level of subtlety that, honestly, her work is so tuned in and so natural that you don't even notice she's performing. When you pause it, when you go back, and you really start to see her level of talent and her ability, and it really is astounding performance. Par excellence, bar none, so she's fantastic. Moving on, the writers are Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Nicole Holofcener, a writer and director of independent films. She was brought on board by Matt and Ben to, of course, bring the female perspective, and that she does in spades. We got the acting is great. I mean, it's a Ridley Scott film here, people. Please, like, everything is gonna be amazing. The guy is 83, I think. Like, I mean, he's right up there with the best of his work. Let's get to the heart of the matter, which is, of course, the fact that this is a Me Too relevant film set in the medieval era called the Dark Ages, because life was a pile of shits. So there you go. Literally, like, you live in shit, basically. You know, cement and shit. And it really is about her courage in this era, for God's sakes. Her life was at stake, and still she decided to speak up about what she felt was a heinous act perpetrated on her that she never asked for, and then her story gets twisted in court, as it would today. The only way to resolve this is through a duel, which her husband steps up to take up on her behalf, which really, in spite of everything, shows how much he did love her in spite of everything, and how much he cared for her, that he would risk his life. Of course, might come second nature to him, being a badass warrior, but still, you gotta think, that's a pretty far place to take your issue of pride. This film brings out the fact that women were property, basically. They are raised by their families, owned by their fathers. Their fathers then trade them in a marriage, and then they get handed over to the husband, and that was their life. And if you go on YouTube and look up some of the interviews with Matt, Ben, and Nicole, they talk about this, especially Nicole, who was really tasked with bringing life to basically an unknown character. There wasn't much to know about what women did in medieval times, and even Nicole says in some of the videos, like, they crocheted, I guess I had to fill in the rest myself. And she does, beautifully. Yes, let's get to the heart of the matter. There's a rape scene. There's no delicate way of saying it. Marguerite de Courage is raped by Adam Driver's character, Jacques Legris. And he's the libertine, as I said, very charismatic. All the ladies think he's handsome, and they flutter when he walks by. And he, of course, is fully aware of his powers and exploits them. And he falls madly in love with Marguerite de Courage, and the fact that she's married does not impede his ambitions. He, of course, doesn't really esteem Matt Damon's character very highly. It's actually really fascinating in the film because Matt Damon plays a humorless individual who is not even conscious of how unfashionable he is, and he's given a mullet, which, as I understand, was Ridley Scott's choice to portray his character, that he's all about fighting. All he wants to do is go to war, serve the king, earn his money as a soldier. He's very good at it, so he basically just hacks off his hair and puts his helmet on and goes out and stabs people for a living and somehow avoids being stabbed himself. And these sort of interspersed visceral battle scenes are exactly that, very visceral. Chainmail, swords, fast editing, you're right in there. And but the movie really isn't about that, so it doesn't dwell on that. It just leads you to the epic final duel that is in the title, of course. And again, this is Ridley Scott's amazing talent as a director. He doesn't flub around. He doesn't prematurely blow his load, for lack of a better phrase, in sort of structuring his movie. The movie very much moves along through these three windows until the final duel, which is spectacular, as you can imagine, which is why Matt and Ben reached out to Ridley to direct this film, because A, you can count on Ridley for epic, moving battle scenes, and of course the acting in his films is always top-notch. So that's why a film like this, The Last Duel, is so important, because once again it reflects back to us, the viewer, modern-day audiences, that, maybe we still have a bit of work to do. And I have to say, as a man watching this, it definitely affected me in terms of maybe there are some unchecked biases in my own appreciation, in my own understanding of how I perceive things, and just because I think it's one thing doesn't mean it is that, and there's another perspective. And I think that's what's so important about this film, and that's what's so great about the structure. You have these three windows. First you get the husband's perspective, Matt Damon's Jacques de Courage, and then it moves to Adam Driver's perspective, the perpetrator, Jean Legris, and then you get the truth, basically, through Margaret's perspective. And it really is the truth. It's not like Rashomon, where there's varying points of view and there is no central truth. There very much is a truth here, and that's a commendation to the film, because this really isn't a matter up for debate. A crime occurred, and it was perpetrated by one person on another, and there's really no gray area there. So all the gray area that is created by people with vested interests not in the truth, but in their own preservation and in the preservation of ideology. The Last Duel is a great film. It's a very relevant film. I feel that it was just kind of thrown out there in a Halloween zone where it doesn't belong. This film belongs in full prestige release during the Christmas release window. The fact that it was thrown out during Halloween is just weird to me. I think the COVID production delays. This movie was originally supposed to be released in December 2020 for that prime prestige Oscar window, but it was just thrown into the mix, as so many movies are. It's like a juggling act these days with movies. So it did not get its prime Oscar release. I think Ridley Scott has become his own competition with the House of Gucci, so that kind of makes me a little bit upset about its marketing and its position, because this is a movie that is worthy and fully deserving of the full Oscar treatment. I mean, you've got everything here. You've got great direction, incredible cinematography, incredible acting, supporting and principal, an incredible lead performance from Jodie Comer, a great transformative performance from Matt Damon, a wonderful supporting turn, which is sort of a Golden Globe delicious kind of nomination for Ben Affleck, who plays a Seventh Seal-inspired Ingrid Bergman type Max von Sydow look from The Virgin Spring, even another Bergman film, which is a wonderful look. And that's to the power of Ridley Scott, that he could get these big ass A-list actors to kind of adjust their appearance so radically that they're going to suffer all this condemnation and ridicule on social media. But that just goes to show you the commitment of real actors. So, all this flack that Matt and Ben get in social media is unwarranted, and it's just grade school BS. This was what actors were hired to do. This is the prime job of an actor, is to embody a character and to, evoke an era. They're not supposed to go in with the latest hairstyles. This is not a commercial for Vidal Sassoon. Okay, mini rant over. Let's wrap this up. The Last Duel is a fantastic film. It's worthy of all kinds of Oscar nominations, and I hope it gets them. This is my humble attempt to give The Last Duel a little extra breath of oxygen, and I hope if you like this film, and I can't see why you couldn't or why you wouldn't, it's a brilliant film, tell your friends to go see it. Make sure you watch this film. Honestly, as someone who is in the older demographic now, if we don't support these films, they're going to stop making them, and they're just going to come on TV, and they're not going to get A-list talent. You're not going to see a Ridley Scott film if people don't go and see these films and support them. I mean, you just can't keep eating cotton candy every single meal. You've got to eat something substantial with nutritional value.
Do you swear on your life that what you say is true?
To an audience that wants to kind of think about things and reflect on life and civilization and society, and The Last Duel is all of that. It's entertaining, it's brilliant, it's relevant, it's smart, and it is a movie that must be seen. Go see The Last Duel. I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you for watching. It's time to get.
I ain't through with you by damn sight. I'm gonna get medieval on your ass.
I am innocent of the crime!
I request a duel to the death.
The accusation is false.
What happened to me is wrong.
Do as you must.
One of us has lied. Let us let God decide.
Confess!
The Last Duel. Rated R. Only in theaters October 15th.
This movie gets medieval, indeed, in the truest sense of the word. So. Go check it out. The Last Duel, one of the best films of the year, easily. And that's not hyperbole. Thank you for watching. Take care wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next one. Till then, all the best.